Okay, so in the previous class, we have started with an example of a microwave antenna tower. Uh, we were supposed to analyze and design a 60-meter high microwave antenna lattice tower. And the first step was the selection of tower configuration. So we have reached the tower configuration shown here. Okay. Now, today we'll find the loads acting on this and load acting on this tower. So, next step would be load calculations. Okay. So, first we'll find the gravity loads. That means vertical loads. So, in the theory class, we have seen the gravity loads are due to the sulfate of the member, the weight of the platform, railing, ladder, lifts, etc. provided, then weight of the antenna, instruments, appliances, etc., the weight of the gusset and secondary bracings, and the live load. So, first is weight of railing, which is given in the data. The railing, the weight of the railing at the top is 0.32. It is 0.3, not 0.32, it is 0.3. So the weight of the railing is 0.3. Now it is in kilonewton per meter length. So multiply by 3.5 by 4. See, the railing is provided at the top. So at the top we have a 3.5 by 3.5 periphery. So it will be 4 times 3.5. So it is 0.3 into 3.5 by 4. See, it is like this. 3.5 by 3.5, and the railing is provided this is the railing. So this will be equal to 4.2 kilometer. Then the weight of the platform, which is also given in the data, that is 0.82 kilonewton per square meter. At the 0.82 kilonewton per square meter, which is given in the data, that will be equal to 0.82 multiplied by 3.5 by 3.5. This is the platform area. So it is the weight of the platform in square meter have been given to us. So multiplied with the floor area, that will be equal to 10.05 kilometer. Okay. Here you can add the weight of the railing is at 0.3 kilonewton per meter. Then the live load on the platform. Live load on platform, which is at 0.75 kilonewton per square meter. That is you can obtain from IS 875 part 2. You will get this. For flat roof, it is 0.75. So that will be equal to 0.75 into 3.5 by 3.5. So this will give you 9.19 kilometer. Then we have weight of ladder, cage, etc. Now to climb the tower, ladder is provided. Okay, and the cage for the ladder is also provided. Okay. We have a ladder here, and it is and there is a cage. So the weight of the ladder and cage, again it is given in the data, that the weight of the ladder and cage is 0.65 kilonewton per meter. So at the 0.65 kilonewton per meter height. Okay, it will be for the per meter height. So 0.65 into total height is 60 meter. So this will give you 39 kilometer. Then let us assume sulfate of tower truss, that is at the rate 4.5 kilonewton per meter. This is also per meter height. This is also per meter height. So it will be 4.560. So that will be equal to 270 kilometer. So then we also have the weight of miscellaneous items. Weight of miscellaneous items, which is given in the data as as 2.5 kilometer, and the miscellaneous item includes beacon, lights, lightning cables, etc. So the total vertical load will be the sum of all this. So so 20 plus 10.05 plus 19.09 that that will be 234.94 334.94 kilonewton. That is the total weight on 4 legs of tower. Okay, all these vertical loads will be carried by the 4 legs of the tower. So if you see it in plan, it will be like this. 4 legs here. So total weight on 4 legs will be 334.94. So now the weight on each leg will be equal to 334.94 divided by 4. So that will be give, will get this as 83.735 kilonewton. Okay. Now in addition to this, we have the weight of the antenna disc and fixtures. Okay. Now this antenna and its fixtures will be connected on one side of the uh, this tower. So let us say it is connected here. This is the antenna disk. Okay, and its fixtures. Okay, so the weight of this antenna and its fixtures is given in the data as 9 kilonewton, and this will be carried by the two legs, means these two legs. Okay, it will be carried by these two legs because the antenna is fixed here. So the weight of this will be taken by these two legs. So weight of antenna taken by two legs only. So it will be equal to 9 by 2. So that is 4.5 kilonewton. So, the gravity load, so we can say the maximum gravity load on each leg of the tower will be equal to 83.735, that is this value, plus this value, plus 4.5, that will be equal to approximately around 88 kilonewton. Okay. So we have the total gravity load. Next we'll find the wind load. Here we'll be using IS 875 part 3, and we'll solve this example using the old code, and after that I will also show you what changes are there in the new code. So let us first find the wind load using the old code, and then later on I will show you the changes to be made for the to account for the new code. So here our location is Agra. So for Agra, the basic wind speed is 47 meter per second. Then we have been given the terrain as plain terrain with the level ground and of terrain category 2. So terrain data is given to us as level ground with terrain of category 2. So for this, uh, simply let us see. Now K1 factor will be 1.07 for, let us say, 50 years of design life, and K3 factor is 1 for plain terrain. Now K2 will vary with height. So let us make a table K2 for different heights. Height H and the value of the K2. We'll find the wind load at 18-meter height above the ground, 33-meter above the ground, 48-meter above the ground, and 60-meter above the ground. And the corresponding values of the K2 are 0.99, 1.05, 1.09, and 1.11. So we'll find the wind load at these points. At this level is 18 meter. We'll find this at this level. That is 18 plus 15, that is 33 meter. We'll find at this level also. It will be 48. And at 60 meter. So now let us find the design wind speed. Design wind speed Vd VB, and we write this as VZ is equals to VB, K1, K2, K3. Okay. In new code, there will be a K4 factor also that we'll see later on. So V18 means at Z is equals to 18 meter. These are the height. At 18 meter height, VB is 47 into K1 is 1.07, K2 is 0.99 and K3 is 1. Okay. So that will give you V18 as 49.79 meter per second. Similarly, V33, V48 and V60. That will be equal to 47 into 1.07 into, this is 1.05, K2 is 1.05 at 33 meter height, 1.0, this will give you 52.80 meter per second. 47 into, or simply what you can do, you can make a table here also for VZ, and you can write here 49.79, 52.80, 54.82 and 55.82. So that will, we can find it from K1, K2, K3, VB. 1.09 into 1.0, 1.07 into 1.09 into 1.0, 54.82 meter per second. 47 into 1.07 into 1.11 into 1.0, 55.82 meter per second. So we have the wind speed, design wind speed. Then we can find the wind pressure also. PD is equals to 0.6 Vz square. Design wind pressure PD or PZ, you can write PZ also. PZ is equals to 0.6 Vz square. So P18 will be equal to 0.6 into 49.79 square. Let us convert this into kilonewton per meter square. So multiply it with 10 to the power minus 3. That will give you 1.487 kilonewton per square meter. Then P33, P48 and P60 you can find in the same way. 333 is 0.6 into 52.80 square into 10 to the power minus 3, that will be 1.673 kilonewton per square meter. You can make a table instead of calculating all this. .82 square into 10 to the power minus 3, that will be 1.803. You can also make an Excel sheet because for transmission towers we are grouping the members and then design, so you can make a table, you can make a Excel spreadsheet which will be handy for such calculations. One 1.807 kilonewton per square meter. Okay. So the values are 1.487 kilonewton per meter square. This is meter per second, meter per second, meter per second, meter per second. Okay. These are meter, 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 meter. 1.673 kilonewton per square meter, 1.803 kilonewton per square meter, and 1.870 kilonewton per square meter. Okay. So next we find the effective frontal area. Effective. Here in this case it will be the average frontal area. And we'll be using the gross area for various segments. So for the first segment, the frontal area will be equal to this height multiplied by the width of the tower, because wind will be acting from this direction. So it will be this height for the first segment. This is our first segment. The height of first segment is 12 meter by 3.5. So it will be 12 by 3.5. So that will be 42 meter square. Then for the for segment 1, for segment 2, the effective frontal area will be equal to, now this time we have to take the average, because now the tower legs are inclined, so the width here is 3.5 and the width here is 4.75. Okay, at 33 meter height width is 4.75 and at 48 meter it is 3.5. So you take the average width, and the height of segment 2 is 15 meter. Okay. For segment 2 the height is 15 meter, so it will be 15 multiplied by average height, that is 3.5 plus 4.75 by 2. So that will be equal to 61.875 meter square. Then for third segment, the area will be equal to, again the height of the third segment is 15 meter. Okay, this is 15 meter, segment 3, and the average height will be at 33 meter the width is 4.75, and at 18 meter the width is 6 meter. So it will be the average of 4.75 and 6. So 15 multiplied by 4.75 plus 6.0 by 2. So that will be equal to 80.625 meter square. Then for fourth segment, area will be, the height is 18. For segment 4, the height is 18 meter, and the width at the top is 6 meter, and at the base it is 7.5. Okay. So at base it is 7.5 meter, and at 18 meter height it is 6 meter. So average of 6 and 7.5, 6 plus 7.5 by 2, that will be equal to 121.50 square meter. Okay. Next is the CG of this wind force. So the distance of CG of lateral wind force frontal area, we call this as y bar, from the base, for various segments will be, so for first segment, y bar 1, that will be equal to, now CG of the first segment will be here. So this distance will be, see this is 48, and this is 12. So it will be 48 plus 12 by 2, that is 6. So it will be 54 meter. this will be 48 plus 12 by 2, that will be 54 meter. For second segment, the bypass distance will be equal to 33 that is this plus, now it is a trapezoid, so you have to use the formula for trapezoid, so that will be equal to 2 into 3.5 plus 4.75 divided by 3.5 plus 4.75 into 15 by 2, that will be 40.121 meter. Now let us say this is A, this is B, and this B H. So the CG will be at a distance of 2A plus B divided by A plus B into H by T. So this will be the formula for the CG. We call this as CG y bar. Okay, same way we can find the other heights also. So for third segment, y bar will be, now we are measuring it from the base, so the height below this is 18 meter. So 18 plus, now this time the width at the top will be 4.75, so 2 into 4.75 plus base width is 6 meter, so 4 divided by 4.75 into 6.0 multiplied by, again the height is 15 meter only, so that will be 25.209 meter. Then for segment 4, y4 will be equal to, now 0 plus, it will be 2 into 6.0 plus 7.5 all divided by 6.0 plus 7.5 multiplied by 18 meter is the height of the segment 4, so that will be equal to 8.667. Okay, so let us stop here, and in the next class we'll continue this calculation for the wind load. So we'll find the solidity ratios, and then we'll find the total wind load on the tower. Okay, so today we have seen how to find the gravity loads on the towers, and we have seen some portion of the wind load calculation, which will continue in the next class. So if you have any doubt, we can discuss now.